Hey, what's up guys, Benny here and welcome to my top 5 meta loadouts for Warzone Season 4 Reloaded. There has been a bunch of buffs and nerfs to some of our favourite weapons, and one of the most debated was the Kar98K, which indeed did receive a nerf, but it was nowhere near what we were expecting it to be. It is still very much one of the best weapons in the entire game, though is a little bit harder to use unless you're a mouse and keyboard player, and realistically there's almost no difference whatsoever. But I want to kick off my loadout that I'm going to be running a lot more often at the start of Season 4 Reloaded, and it's this first one. It is of course including the Saperi, which did not get touched, which really surprised me because this dominates at close range and even a little bit further away. The build that I've been rocking is the Zem compensated flash hider, the Hound Guard heavy barrel, the DR6 hand stop, the 40 round mag, and then the Rescue 9 stock. Now, and then using an optic and using this, the FSS Spectre Microtherm. This thing is absolutely busted, especially with the atomic disintegrator optic from the blueprint. And if you go and look here, it will just highlight every opponent in yellow or green. I'm colorblind, so I always make that mistake, but it's so easy to see. You can just throw a smoke grenade at your feet and take down people nice and easily. Ridiculous. Then I pair that with the Holger 26, which right now is the best medium to long range weapon in the entire game for a fully auto. The MCW and a few others that we're going to check out later in this video are also great alternatives, but you've got the Casus Break, the Holger Factory Barrel, the 5.56 high velocity rounds, that Spectre Microtherm once again. Of course, you could drop the optic if you would like to and stick an underbarrel if you need a bit of extra recoil control, and then the Ascent Lord stock. But if you have a look at this in the firing range, super clean, an unbelievable loadout. C4 also did receive a pretty big nerf, so I've gone back to thermites, and then I'm rocking smoke grenades, of course, with mounting it, irradiated, quick fix, and high alert as my perk choices for my first loadout. But before we go into our next loadout, I want to tell you about my brand new laptop from my partners, Omen, the Transcend 14. This thing is an absolute beast and has allowed me to game on the go, whether I was going to LA to play Black Ops 6 early or talking on a panel in processor alongside a 4070. So it is an absolute beast and can perform at the highest level when I'm playing Call of Duty Warzone. It's also got a gorgeous OLED display, which is 2880 by 1800p. So you can easily see and spot enemy players, alongside a 0.2 millisecond response time. There's also super light. So make sure to go check this out down in the description below. Let me know what you think, but let's get into our next meta loadout for Season 4 Reloaded. So our second meta loadout includes the MCW, which I am so excited about because this was my favorite assault rifle back in the original Modern Warfare 3. I dropped so many Moabs with the ACR, but it's had a minimum damage increase, so no matter where you're hitting your opponents, it's going to do more damage, and a bullet velocity increase. So you're just going to be able to hit those targets a little further away that bit easier, especially with this build. You've got the Casus Break, the 16.5-inch MCW Cyclone long barrel. You like that. You've then got the 60-round drum or the high-grain rounds. If you want a longer distance scope, I definitely recommend using the Corio Eagle Eye. I've used this so much for anything that's like, I don't want a close range scope or an iron sight, but yeah, super easy to use. Now, what's great about this build is it actually has over 1000 bullet velocity for the 1000 meters a second, so it's so easy to hit your opponents at a distance. Really nice all-round assault rifle now, super easy to use, very low recoil, and I'm glad it is finally getting a little bit of time in the sun and is a viable weapon to be using on both Rebirth Island. Recently been on the end of, and they are ridiculous. Some comp players are even starting to use this over the Saperi because of how fast it can kill your opponents at close range, and they are the WSP Stingers, and I don't know how, but have gone a little bit under the radar for how good they are. But you've got the S37 breacher device for your muzzle, the X10 sidearm L40 laser, 32 round mag, the Akimbo WSP Stingers, very important, and then the WSP factory stock. But I'm just going to quickly show you these in the firing range. Now, they're not going to look great here, right? They're not. The dummy settings don't have enough plates, right? But you've got great mobility, and then they shred. Now, obviously, the building with you they have no chance whatsoever. So give these a go if you haven't already. Rebirth Island especially, incredible. Smoke Grenade Thermite, same perk and tactical and lethal setup across. Now, for my third loadout, once again, an MCW. It's got buffed. I love this thing. It's the best sniper support. You got the Zem compensated flash hider, the second line Mammoth heavy barrel, the DR6 hand stop, the 40 round mag, and then of course that Jack Raven kit just to make it more of an SMG, rate of fire, mobility, damage at close range, and then attack stance. Velocity have also come across, so it's got a little bit better once again compared to where it was earlier in the week. But this thing is ridiculous. And also, if you want to, and you prefer having an optic, or you want that thermal optic, which is pay to win, by the way, you can just get rid of the underbarrel and put the optic on. I personally just like the iron sights on this, and we'll go with that DR6 hand stop just for that extra mobility. Then, as I said, the Kar98K, very much still in the meta. Sonic Suppressor, high grain rounds, the Recon Sling for that flinch, and the SPX 6.6. Now, this is harder to use. Do not get me wrong. It is hard to use, but it's still a 2-shot kill anywhere, and that 1-shot kill to the head within like 76 meters. Don't know how they have not hit this more. Mouse and keyboard players, you have not got affected at all, because all they've done is make it a sniper and affected the aim assist that players now get with the Kar98K. So it's now not as easy to use, but still will perform at the exact same level before the patch. A little bit lower bullet velocity, so harder to hit your shots, but still nowhere near what we were expecting, so enjoy it for the rest of the season. I do expect this to get hit with another nerf sometime in the near future, but we'll have to wait and see for that. Our next loadout, the SVA. Switch this thing to single shot and just spam that trigger, and it is unbelievable. You got the Sonic Suppressor, the STV Precision Barrel, the high grain rounds, the 60 round mag, and then that Choreo Eagle Eye. Remember, if you want to use a 1x optic, you can go ahead and do this. This is my long range build, and I've got one of my highest ever kill games using this exact weapon. Love it to pieces. So easy, no recoil whatsoever. So give it a go if you haven't already. And then I like that with the WSP9, which I feel if the Zaperi gets hit, this is going to slot into that kind of slow fire rate, easy to use, hard hitting SMG. Zem compensated flash hider, the Hiss short light barrel, the DR6 hand stop. No doubt you didn't think I'd forget the brand new shotgun, the Reclaimer 18, which doesn't have its original name, with the Holger 5.56. Now this thing can be absolutely ridiculous. I think it's going to be a little bit hit or miss, but probably, actually I say probably, it is the best shotgun for Warzone in the game right now. But you're going to have the Holger 5.56, which also received a buff. You got the Spirit Fire Suppressor, the Kairos 6 match, the 40 round mag, the Jack Glassless optic, and the Addo Assault stock. Great for solos and duos. I think it just doesn't have the mag size that you want for trios and quads, but an amazing assault rifle nonetheless if you want to go ahead and use it. But I want to spend our time on this. First of all, you've got the X10 full choke, the Discourager 900 heavy barrel, the Jack Glassless optic, the Hinge, not the dating app, the Hinge LAF light stock, and then most importantly, the 12 gauge slug. Now you may ask me, why is this so important? Well, it does remove the semi-automatic capability, but it does give it one-shot headshot kill potential up to 6.6 meters. And that may not sound much, but for a shotgun, it's all you need. Like, it is ridiculous. Now, yes, it is going to be hard to use, but it has a pretty solid fire rate, and if you hit those headshots within that 6.6 meters, you're going to destroy your opposition. And worst case scenario, you just hit them with two to the chest, and it's still going to take them out. Like, unbelievable weapon. It is, like, I was using it in multiplayer, I was like, oh, this is not good whatsoever. But in Warzone, Rebirth, one of the best weapons that you're going to be using, and it is hard to use, but some people are going to have some ridiculous amount of fun with this. But there we have it. Those are my top 5 meta loadouts that you want to be using in Warzone Season 4 Reloaded. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you next time for more. Thanks for watching.